Hi. Hi, it's me. Hi, it's me, it's you. So, sure, today, oh, I didn't get my stupid keyboard out of the way. So today what we have is a mess, and what I'm hoping to do is to just figure out what I want to do for Christmas gifts, because I generally make them, because don't got lots of money to buy presents for people. So, I have many ideas for what to make, and one of the ideas I was throwing around yesterday, or starting yesterday, was, let's try to make this a little bit closer. No, wrong way. There we go. Whoop, centered? We good? Aha. Perfect. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is make little things for people. And let me just check one more thing. I want to actually see what it looks like. Looks good. And I can keep this on now so that we have the chat room up. Phew. Okay, so one of the things that you notice is that I don't have a little, I usually have like a work in progress thing next to my past projects. And I don't have that there right now because I don't know exactly what I'm going to be working on today. I also don't know exactly how long I'm streaming for. We'll go for a few hours. My daughter gets home around 3:15. But, so for instance, I bought these cool things for making keychains, and I've got a couple different kinds of clasps, but I haven't yet fully decided what I'm going to do. Little things. I'll do like little amigurumi doohickeys, and then I can make them into keychains. So that's one thing I might work on today. But also, I found these really cool patterns that are basically little miniature doilies that you can use as coasters. And then, you know, obviously, I get really excited about a good doily. So I found a pack of miniature doilies by Grace Fearon, who is the same person who designed this doily. This one was actually in an art show, so I know it's high quality and very good. So I started working on that. I had to frog a bunch of it because I wasn't reading the instructions correctly, but what I really like about this one is that it looks, to me anyway, like kind of a poinsettia. So I'm making this one, this is sort of my test run, all in red, but then I think what I'm going to do is, for future ones, is, depending on how this turns out and whether or not I really want to spend a bunch of time making these, because I think if you're going to do a coaster, it needs to be a little bit weighty. So I might add beads to it, or I might put a felt backing on it or something. But it's going to take some time. And if it takes too much time, then it's not going to be really worth turning into a present, because the whole goal about making presents is like, you don't want to have too much going on because you want to be able to churn these things out pretty quickly, right? Also, if I do coasters, I want to do a set of coasters, so 4 or 5. And so if 4 or 5 are going to be going to one person, it might end up taking too long. So this is just my test run with this pattern. So the pattern is not free. You have to purchase it, but it comes in a whole set. So it's called Juno is the name of the pattern, by Grace Fearon. You can find it on Ravelry. And if I was smarter and knew how to do these things, I could just like create a link to the pattern. But I believe I paid $10, and there are 7 patterns, so 7 different coasters. And I'm working on number 6. I'm on number 6, which was the one that looked the most Christmassy to me, mostly because it's got this flower motif in the center. So I'm going to just work on that for now. The other thing that's happening right now is that you might notice that I'm at 79 people for my follower goal, and at 80 we're going to do a giveaway. So if that happens to tick over today, then that's great. I'll set up a not in real time giveaway, and what I'll end up doing is providing a link so that people can head on over there and enter several times, and then I'll sort of basically pull those from a digital hat and announce it on stream. So I know my lighting's a little weird today. I know why, because I didn't turn on this little lamp over here. So hold on a second and let me sort of get around the camera. Come on, little lamp. There we go. That should help a little bit with lighting. There we go. Look at that. Okay. So now I sit cross-legged because I'm weird. I'm trying to get pushed forward. Okay. So I had to frog a bunch of this last night because I wasn't reading the instructions properly. So where is the beginning of the round? So I'm in this round 9, and it says slip stitch into the next space, chain 1, which I think I did over here, 2 single crochet in the same space. In the next space we do 2 single crochet, a chain 3, which is this little doodad here at the top, 2 more single crochet, and then 2 single crochet into the next loop. Then, this is where I was not paying attention because I got caught up on what I had done on the previous row, which was to do these popcorn stitches, and it wanted you to do 4. So I started doing 4 and I went all the way around, and then the next round didn't make any damn sense because I had 4 popcorn stitches when I really only needed 3. So it says a 4 double crochet popcorn, chain 4 twice, not 3 times, in the next space, and then another popcorn. So you end up with 3 popcorns with 2 spaces in between. Also, I just heard my dog ask to come in, so I will be right back so I can go let her in. So you can just sit there and enjoy the doily. I'll be right back. All right. I think everybody's in the house now, so we shouldn't have any more interruptions. Yeah, get me scooched up here. Cross my legs. Are we good? I think we're good. I think we're ready to go. Okay. So I have this big pile of frog yarn over here. Okay, so we're gonna do these popcorn stitches. So it's just 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Also, I was doing this last night while watching Rachel Maddow, so I was very distracted because I love me some Rachel Maddow. Okay, that's 4. So the way that these popcorn stitches work is they are a textural element that basically come out of the fabric. So you have to basically drop the loop that you were working on, go back to the first double crochet in that set. Try not to lose the one that you just made, and then pull that loop through the first one. And then it makes this nice little popcorn. Boop. Okay. And then it wants me to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then do another popcorn stitch. So we're going to go 4 double crochet. 1, 2, hello, 3, and 4. And then do the same thing. I just realized I'm not even paying attention to chat, so boy. It's all right, there's no one there. Okay. So you stick that through there. And then draw that loop through. And then we're going to do another chain 4, 2, 3, 4, and do it one more time. I love Grace Fearon's patterns. They are so full of detail, and I don't like doilies that are easy. I like a challenge. I like to have lots of details, and I like it to be super advanced and crazy, just stuff everywhere, and she does not disappoint with her patterns. She is a genius with the stuff that she comes up with, and I only wish that I knew how to write patterns the way that she does, because they're so good. And you should definitely go on over to her Ravelry page or her website and buy some of her stuff, because it's really brilliant. All right. Okay, so that's 3. And the reason why it's important that I have 3 here is because on the next round, we're going to be doing some double crochets into these holes, into these loops. Okay, so then we do 2, in the next loop, we're going to skip this next popcorn, and then this loop we're going to do 2 single crochets. 1, 2. And the next one we're going to do 2 single crochets. 1, 2, and then a chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and 2 single crochets. 1, 2. And then in the next loop, 2 single crochets. 1, 2. And what that does is almost makes a little picot, see? A little point. You see that? And then we go and do our popcorns again. Look at this. I need to untangle this, otherwise I'm going to regret it. Very carefully. Very, very carefully. So for this project, I'm using Aunt Lydia's size 10 crochet thread. It's cotton, 100% cotton. It is brilliant for making doilies or coasters, which are basically just mini doilies. I've also used it to make tops, or you can use it to make really frilly trim on things. I'm a big fan of it. I also really enjoy crocheting with tiny, tiny hooks. So this is a size 7 or a 1.6 millimeter steel hook. It's just fun using them. They're real super sturdy, and you can just make some tiny, tiny, awesome details. But it's also fun using crochet thread and tiny, tiny steel hooks to make small versions of regular size patterns. And sometimes I do that a bit with knitting needles too. where you just use a lighter yarn and tiny needles, and you can almost take exactly the same pattern, and just because you're using smaller materials, you end up with a smaller version of that thing. So this is where I'm really excited because so one of the things I'm asking for myself for Christmas is, this is a little embarrassing, is an American Girl doll. Because, well, the story goes, my daughter had an American Girl doll that her grandmother bought her, and it was one of those, like, looks like me dolls. So she did look a bit like my daughter. However, my daughter is not a fan of American Girl dolls. She thinks that they're a little bit too uncanny. She thinks they're creepy. And so when we were doing our annual going through and getting rid of things that she no longer plays with, she said she wanted to get rid of the doll, and I'm an idiot and let her. And I have regretted it ever since, because the American Girl dolls are so perfect when it comes to serving as models for doll clothing. And also, people are crazy about American Girl dolls and buying clothing for them. So I should have just kept the doll, but I didn't because I'm dumb. So I'm asking for one for myself, and it turns out that the girl of the year for this year, her name is Blair. She's this cute little redhead, and she's a farmer. She lives on a farm. She works in a restaurant where she takes the stuff that she grows on her farm, and she has a sheep, and it's almost just weirdly, perfect, because I also now work on a farm, and I have some sheep and chickens, and so it was like the doll's meant for me. I know that's kind of weird, but so I'm asking for Blair for Christmas, because I want a doll that I can use as a model for doll clothing. So I can make a lot of doll clothing for craft fairs, because I know it'll sell, and because it's quick to make, and it'll be fun, and because I can take full-size patterns and just decrease them down to doll size. So another thing that you can do with full-size patterns, and it's especially helpful if they give you lots of different sizes, you can basically figure out what the formula is for determining how many stitches and whatnot for different sizes based on the ratio that they give you. So, if they have something that's small, medium, large, extra large, XXL, something like that, there's going to be, you can basically figure out a pattern between the number of stitches as you go up sizes. Well, you can actually work that pattern in reverse indefinitely to get the size that you want. So you can knit for dolls or in super miniature these wonderful, wonderful patterns, sweaters and whatever garments that are doll sized, and I'm just super excited to do that. So in fact, so one of the past projects you'll see come up is a little tiny sweater that I made for my best friend last year, and I made that by taking what is the name of the shirt? Flax is the name of the sweater. It's a pattern by Tin Can Knits, who I love. Tin Can Knits is a couple of women. One lives in Canada and one lives in Edinburgh, Scotland, and they're best friends, and they design patterns together. And I literally, the other thing that I really like about Tin Can Knits is that they create their patterns for any size, like from infant all the way up to like big burly man. And so it made it very, very easy to figure out what the pattern was or the ratio was in between the different sizes, and then just sort of extrapolate that to if you want to make a sweater that's only going to be 2 inches tall, how many stitches are you working with there? And you can recreate the pattern to the same specifications, the same ratio, but have it only be, big enough for a Christmas ornament. And so that's what I did with that sweater. So you'll see it come up again in the past projects. It's a little pink sweater that I then created a miniature clothes hanger so that I could be hung on a tree. And then I have a little tag on it that looks like a tag that you would see at a store, and it says 2018 on it. So that's what I did for her last year for her Christmas gift. I don't know what I'm going to do this year. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to make her coasters, but I'm always making things for her. So the last time I streamed, I actually made a pumpkin, and that went to her. Because I went to Minneapolis last weekend, and the trip was mostly good, except getting home was not so good because we ran into some weather. So I was supposed to come home on Monday. So I woke up in the morning, we had a wonderful breakfast, got to the airport plenty of time, and my flight was delayed. And then because it was delayed, it was going to make me miss my next flight. So they stuck me on a different flight out of Minneapolis to Chicago O'Hare. And then that flight was delayed. So I was on an initial flight that got delayed. Because of that delay, I was going to miss my connection in O'Hare. So they stuck me on a different flight that got delayed and was going to make me miss my connection. Except then the connecting flight got delayed. And actually, ultimately, that flight was canceled. So I got on another flight, which was delayed. And then I got on a different flight. And anyway, the point is I had 3 different flights that were canceled. And so I was on the last flight from Chicago O'Hare to Lansing. That one got canceled. It was supposed to leave at 9 o'clock. This happened around 7:30. So I ran up to the customer service at O'Hare, and there was a line of about 200 people because they had just started canceling flights all day long. In fact, it turned out, the news said anyway, that they canceled over 1,200 flights, maybe 1,250 or more that day. I stood in line to talk with a representative for 3 hours. 3 hours I stood in line. It was really rough. By the time I finally got to talk to somebody, it was about 10:30 at night. Right, because I had gotten into the line around 7:30, right? So by 10:30 is when I finally got to talk to someone. All of the flights to Lansing for the next several days were booked. So the closest they could get me was either Detroit or Flint. And they wouldn't. So I said, well, if you send me to Detroit, can you get me a connecting flight from Detroit back to Lansing? And they said, no, because Detroit is actually a Delta hub and not a United hub. So I said, that's not going to work for me because it's 2 hours from Lansing to Detroit, or like an hour and a half. And I don't like driving out of Detroit, the Detroit airport anyway. So then he said, well, I can get you into Flint, which I assumed was going to be a smaller airport, and I was right about that, with less traffic and fewer people, and it's closer to home. So he ended up getting me on a 7 a.m. flight to Flint, and this is 10:30 o'clock at night, right? And I said, can you help me get accommodations for the evening? Because, you know, I need to go sleep now so that I can be back here early to get on this 7 o'clock flight. And he said, no, because it was due to weather, the airline can't do anything for you. So he did say because it was extenuating circumstances, they were setting up cots on the concourse. And there was no way in hell I was going to stay on a cot at the airport with a gazillion people running around. So I was texting my husband the whole time, and, you know, he helped me find places that still had rooms. And so I ended up getting the last bed at a Super 8 motel that was about 15 minutes from O'Hare. I didn't get there till 11 o'clock. I had to rent a taxi from the airport because, of course, United wasn't going to help me get a cab either. So anyway, I got checked in. I went to this place. It was the seediest motel I've ever been at. It wasn't dirty. It was just everything was so run down. Like the carpet had snags all in it, and the sink was all scratched up, and the counter had cigarette burn marks on it. It just looks like it was from the 70s. But it was warm, and it was clean, and so I slept until about 5:30 in the morning. So I was only there for about 6 hours, right? Got a cab back to the hotel, or back to the airport, and made my flight to Flint, which was delayed. But I finally got to Flint, rented a car from Flint, and drove to Lansing. So it took me like 2 days to get home. And I just never want to leave my house again. That was not a fun time. Also, you know, I'm a person who has clinical anxiety. So I take medication for my anxiety, right? And to be in that situation where, you know, I'm not a well-traveled person to begin with. And so for many people, this wouldn't have been a big deal because lots of people have had canceled flights and have had to like call a cab for themselves and go get accommodation. But that's not me. I'm not that person. I've never had to do those things before. So it was very stressful. And I'm very proud of myself that I was able to do it and able to get myself home okay. It was actually the first time I've ever had to rent a car. I've never rented a car before. My husband has. I haven't. I've never had a need to rent a car. Because usually when I travel places, I arrange for like Super Shuttle or something, or I have people with me and we go in double on a cab or something, and I've just never had to make emergency accommodations and travel. So, but it all worked out. I'm home. I was able to get home in time for my daughter's birthday, which was on the 12th. We had reservations to a fancy restaurant that night, and I took her to go see Les Miserables at the Wharton Center on Michigan State's campus. And it was fantastic, and we had a really good time. But like, I have been worn out for the last couple days now. So I've just sort of been taking it easy, which is fine. But I have a week I want to clean up the house because we are having friends over for Thanksgiving. 2 separate couples are actually coming. So my best friend, who is the one that I actually went to Minneapolis to visit, she's coming down with her husband and her dog, and they're going to spend Thanksgiving with us. And we're also having my husband's best friend and his wife come over for Thanksgiving. So it's going to be a full house. So there are some things I need to do. You know, there's just, there's things that haven't gotten done yet since we moved in. And, like I have all these pictures and paintings and stuff I haven't hung on the walls yet, so I have to do that still. So my plan is in the next week, between now and when we have all these people coming for Thanksgiving, I'm going to do some of that work. Oh, hi, globe-trotting socialite, who asks, what are you making? Currently, thank you for asking, I'm making a mini doily that is a coaster, basically. It's one of Grace Fearon's patterns. This, by the way, my background doily is also a design by Grace Fearon, who is just a brilliant designer. And she makes really complex, chunky, wonderful doily patterns. That's sort of what she specializes in. And so I bought a pack, a set of 7 mini doilies from her. It's called the Juno collection, and it's just full of these little miniature doilies that, you can use as coasters. So I'm sort of doing a test run with this one because it has this like flower in the middle that looks like a poinsettia to me. I'm doing this one all in red, but I'm going to, if this one works out and I decide that I want to make a bunch of them for gifts, I think I'm going to change up the colors. So I might like do yellow in the middle and then red for the flower and then make white on the outside and maybe like a green border or something like that. Yeah, they wear pretty well as coasters because it's just cotton. So I'm using Aunt Lydia's crochet thread, which is, and this is size 10. It's probably the most popular cotton crochet thread that's on the market right now. You can buy a bunch and it's very inexpensive. So I might make them chunkier. I'm not sure. So I might like put some felt or something on the back, just to make them a little bit chunkier. But what I do when I make a doily is you'll get it all wet, and then I have a blocking board, so I'll spread it out with needles to make sure that all the nice holes and loops stand out really well. And then I give it a good spray with some laundry starch and let it dry, and then it'll be perfect. So, yeah. So the other nice thing about them being cotton is that they're quite absorbent. So they work really well as coasters, actually. Have I seen any holiday combinations of Fibercraft and real pine cones? No. I have seen holiday combinations of Fibercraft and real stones. So if you go looking on, if you're not on Ravelry, I suggest you do that because Ravelry is awesome. Search for, what did I search for? I don't remember what I looked for my pattern search, and it's not up anymore. Like, look for crochet and type in Christmas as a keyword and just start going through things, and you'll find these cool patterns that someone did where they literally just took rocks and started making these snowflake patterns around the rocks. So I haven't seen that for pine cones, but I have seen it for rocks. Yeah, the other thing you might find is there's some really good patterns for crochet around mason jars, and then you can put a little light inside or even put a candle on the inside, and the light will glow through the crochet and make it look really cool. So again, those are things that you can just find by just, you can get lost really quickly on Ravelry. It's sort of like a rabbit hole where you just start looking at patterns and 3 hours later you're like, oh, I guess 3 hours have gone by. And I have a tendency to go through and then just try to snag things I like and put it in my favorites list. So I have a very, very long favorites list. By the way, if anyone's interested in joining me on Ravelry, if you go on my page and scroll down, I think it's the first link, you can actually go to Ravelry, and my name is Larkness. That's my handle on Ravelry, and you can send me a friend request. And then you can have access to, I think you get to see my library and my favorites, and you can also see the things that I've created, which I've only recently been really conscientious about documenting all the things that I've made. In part because I was doing so Ravelry has like a self-challenge. Globetrotting Socialite, you're following me. Guess what that means? We have 80 followers, and that means that you have unlocked the next giveaway. So, this is fantastic. Thank you so much. So what we're going to do is, I'm not going to do it right now because I'm going to do this so it's not in real time. But what I'll do is, after this stream, I'm going to get on to, I can't remember if I did it on Streamlabs or Stream Elements last time, but I will create a link to this giveaway, and then you can get on there. And if you wanted to join my Discord, you can also do that, and I'll put an announcement on Discord. And then I'll keep it up for a few days so that people have an opportunity to enter the giveaway, and then whoever enters it, you'll get a certain number of chances to basically like throw a ticket in the bucket, and then I will, on the next stream, I'll draw it live, and then we'll see who wins. So the way that I do my giveaways is I don't have something set up to give away. Not yet anyway, but soon. So what I usually do is just whoever wins, I will contact that person, and then we will have a conversation about what you want. So usually it's a small amigurumi type knitted or crocheted item that I'll then send to you. Or it could be a custom yarn. So I dye and spin my own yarn. So if you wanted like a mini skein of yarn, I could spin something for you. Just depends on what you want, and we can have that conversation. So, but thanks so much. So I'm so excited. So not only am I at 80 followers, I also get to do another giveaway, and so that's exciting because I've done a few of these before now. So, yay! Thank you so much. So that means then I'll also have to set up for the next giveaway, which I'm going to do, I think, at 100. So that'll have to be a special one. I never thought that I would get up to 80 followers on Twitch, so this is really special. What am I doing? Okay. All right. So of course this doily would go a lot faster if I wasn't chatting so much, but that's okay. I was doing it. I was watching Rachel Maddow last night and doing it, and it wasn't going much faster either. I have sort of been, I don't know if anyone else is like me, but I have been following the news obsessively for the last several years. And I really like watching her show. Well, thanks for stopping by. And thanks for the follow. And I'll let you know when that giveaway gets up there. So exciting. 3 and 4 double crochet into the loop. Alright, so then we go into the last double crochet, or I guess it's the first double crochet, pull the loop through. 3 popcorns made. So yeah, so anyway, after I went to go see Les Miserables with my daughter, I have been sort of obsessing about it because it was so good and because I love it. It's one of my top musicals. And so yesterday I watched the movie, and then I've just been bopping around the house singing the songs. I gotta get it out of my system now. I get excited. I get very passionate about things. Like, I'm one of these people that if I see a work of art, or if I see a video or movie, or hear a song, I get like I want to learn everything about it. So if I go see a movie or something, then I'm like, I gotta go read about that movie. I gotta see what other people thought about it, and I want to talk about it with people. And so I've been trying to talk to my poor husband about Les Miserables, but he doesn't really care. Like, I have this whole theory about how, so you've probably heard of the term friend zoned, which is this idea that there are men who might pine after a woman, but she sees him only as a friend, and that it's like the worst thing to be in the friend zone because then you can't have sex with that woman, which I would argue means you're not a real good friend anyway. Anyway, so in Les Miserables, there's a character named Eponine, and she is in love with this guy named Marius, and to him, Eponine is his best friend, but she's in love with him and he doesn't know. Because she's never told him, right? She's never said, hey, by the way, I love you. She just basically laments that he'll never think of me that way. And he ends up falling in love with Cosette, who is Fantine's daughter, who Jean Valjean swears to protect and raises as his own. And anyway, one of the things I was thinking about was, even though Eponine is technically in the friend zone, Marius says to her, like, will you help me meet this girl, and will you, like, take a letter for me? And she says, yeah, I'll do that for you. She's not bitter about it, even though, you know, she would really love for him to feel about her the way that he feels about Cosette. But she doesn't try to sabotage his relationship with Cosette, because she loves him and she wants him to be happy, even if it's not with her. And that's love. That's like true love, right? So I think it's one of the reasons why Eponine is, she's my favorite character in the whole musical, and also sings the best song, because On My Own is the best song in the whole musical, but also it just shows like this different perspective of this whole idea of being friend zoned. Okay, I have to use the restroom, so I'm going to be right back. So don't go anywhere, and maybe I'll talk more about Les Mis. I don't know. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. So I decided also to make some coffee. So that's brewing, and I'll have to run off and get that in a second. What was I doing? Making popcorns. Making popcorn stitches. Ooh, ooh. This is the... I'm done. This is the last one. My dog is barking. Well, she's not barking per se. She does this like boof thing. She's boofing. Boof. What are you boofing at? Boof. Boof. Oh, come on. Okay. So, let's see what the pattern says now. Near. We're near the pattern shade. It says after the last 4 double crochet popcorn in the same space and join. And join. What was the first stitch? It was a chain 1 into that first. So there it is. Okay, I see it. So we're going to join with this first single crochet, and now we are done with round 9. Now we're on to round 10, and I'm going to go get my coffee, so you hold tight. Be right back. It's going to take me 2 seconds. I'm going. You can still hear me? Here I go. Going out to the kitchen. Now I'm returning. You hear me? I come. Kitchen's not far from the office. Just a few steps away, actually. Here I go. Here I'm back. See, that wasn't so bad. Okay, now I got my coffee in my nice rooster mug. And I'm ready for round 10. What? What? Did I upset you all? I'm sorry. Oh my god. Hi. My dogs. You can't see them, but okay. What are we doing now? We're on round 10. I'm going to make this bigger. Round 10 says to slip stitch into the next stitch. Really? Okay. We're going to slip into the next stitch, chain 1, and single crochet into that same stitch. So if you ever are making a doily or anything that's basically crocheted in subsequent rounds like this, a lot of amigurumi is actually knit as a crocheted as a spiral. So there it's really important for you to mark the first stitch of each round and then move your marker as you come to it. So there's no actual like firm stopping point when you're knitting in a spiral. When you're crocheting in a spiral like that. In a lot of these patterns where there's a lot going on, what they'll do is you basically finish your last row and then start the next one with basically the next level of loop up. And so you'll see in the patterns it'll call for a chain 1 and then a single crochet, or sometimes a chain 2 or something if it's a double crochet. But what that does is to create a really nice firm starting point for you so that you can find it when you come back around to end that row, and then they'll ask you to slip into that first single crochet that you made, not into the chain stitch. But what that first chain stitch does is to help you find, it makes it just stand up really well. So that's what it's having us do there. So then it wants us to single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. So I see 1 and 2 right there. So here's 1. And here's the next one. Okay. And then we come to that chain 3. So it wants me to single crochet, chain 3, single crochet in that space, single crochet, chain 3, 1, or not. Okay, let's do that again, shall we? See, just like I'm a very tight knitter, but I'm also a very tight crocheter. I put a lot of tension on things, so it's easy for me to pull my stitches out. So single crochet, chain 3, and then single crochet back into that same loop. Derp, derp. Cool. Then what does it want me to do? Single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches, and then 6 double crochet in each of the next 2 spaces. Okay, so I see the holes here for the next 3. 1, 2, 3, and then it wants me to 6 double crochet into these, basically these loops that I created between the popcorn stitches. So that's 2, this is 3, 4, 5, and 6. And this is where I got last night when I was like, this pattern doesn't make any sense. And it's because I actually did 4 popcorn stitches and not 3 like I was supposed to. So, so there's no fancy connecting between these 2 sets, so I just go start the next set of double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, come on, and 6. And it makes like these beautiful little fan do-jobbies. You see that? Look, can you see? Hello. Focus on me. Don't focus on the background. Anyway. My coffee is very hot. Okay, so now next, after the 6 double crochet in each of the next 2 spaces, skip the next popcorn and single crochet, which is this. Single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. And then that's it. Okay, so I think we got it. I think we got the pattern. So now I don't even need to look at it anymore. I can turn my chat back on. So there should be 3 stitches right here. 1, 2, 3. I see it, yes. Oh, actually, it wants me to skip this one. 1, 2, 3. Okay, well, I'll do that. Do I want to do that, or... You know what? You do whatever feels right. And no one's going to notice anyway, so. It's a good idea to keep the same number of stitches, but if you need to fudge where you're sitting them, it's not really that important. 1, 2, 3. Back into that loop. And then we go 1, 2, 3. These ones are really easy to find. And then our 6 crochets, double crochets. 3, 4, 5, 6. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to zoom in a little bit because I want you to be able to see my face. This is the closest I can get. Unless I was like working all the way up here, but then it wouldn't focus on me anyway, so. Ah, and always you get the dog hair. Yes, dog hair is part of my work. I follow a woman on Twitter. I follow a lot of spinners, knitters, and crocheters on Twitter because I want my Twitter feed to be filled with goodness. And these people are good people. Anyway, she said the other day, does anybody else like always spin cat hair into like as part of whatever they're spinning? Sort of like as a little secret. It's like, no, but now I will. Like she said, she'll sometimes find cat whiskers and stuff laying around, and then she'll just spin it in with the rest of her yarn. It's like a little secret. Okay, I think that's 6. Let's just count and make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wonderful. Find our next 3 stitches that we want to work into. I think there's a cat behind me on the chair. And then we do our single crochet, chain 3, 2, 3, single crochet, and then 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. So when I do this next one, I am going to change colors. Because to me, I don't know if anyone would agree with me, but this thing looks like a poinsettia. Poinsettias actually are yellow in the middle, actually yellow and green, but I think I would start with a yellow center. Might make sense to put some beads in it too. I don't know. I don't want to get too fancy. I mean, that's the problem with making gifts for people is that you could spend a ton of time on stuff if you want, but and I'm sure that people are very appreciative when people make them gifts, but a lot of the time it's not something that they're going to particularly treasure. But I would say, I mean, I've been giving away, I've been giving my work as gifts for many years now, and part of the reason for that is it makes a lot more sense for me to do that than to buy something for somebody because I'm essentially giving them part of myself. I'm giving them this thing that I made that is worth my time, right? So I'm not buying them something with cash. It's more like the value goes into the time that it took me to make that thing. Either way, they're probably going to value the thing just as much as if I purchased it. So, and I don't have a bunch of money to be spending on gifts for people. So this is what they get. It's either this or nothing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. I do like to think that I'm highly skilled when it comes to my craft. So it's not like I'm giving them some little granny square and saying, here you go. It's more like you're getting something made as a gift that, you know, people would pay for, people would purchase normally. But I do know a lot of people who say, you know, they don't bother. It's only 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, one more. They don't make things for other people because, well, I mean, you don't have to, right? I think for a lot of people also, they don't want to make something and then have it turn out that whomever they gave it to, they just don't really appreciate it anyway. It's kind of like, so you know in Harry Potter, how Mrs. Weasley insists on knitting sweaters for her kids, and they're not particularly well done because she does it by hand. She doesn't use magic to knit them. She does it by hand. And that actually makes it worth more, or puts, you know, because she's putting a lot of love in it. But the kids are always like sort of making fun of it, right? It's sort of like a joke amongst them that, oh, they're gonna get this sweater made by mom, and I don't know. I always thought it was really lovely that she did that. Because again, she put all that time and effort and love into making these sweaters for her kids. But they probably didn't really appreciate it all that much. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. 4, 5, 6. So who appreciates handmade goods? The people who go to craft fairs. That's who. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And yet I continue to make things for people. Just 'cause. That 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you might notice that on my channel, I don't have music going on in the background. And I'll tell you why. The reason for that is whenever I've done it before, Twitch has always used their bot to scrub out the audio at those points. And I'm starting to upload these to YouTube now, and I don't want that to happen. I guess I could record it rather than uploading it straight from Twitch, but anyway, it basically really takes down the value and quality of the VODs. So I'm just not going to bother. I think that there are probably some places where you can get approved music. I haven't looked into that yet. So if I can find somewhere where they have approved music that's music that I want to listen to, then I'll have music on my channel. And until then, I won't. You just get to listen to me yammer on and on and on. One of the things that really bothers me about that, though, is that oftentimes I'll play things like classical music, and most classical music, or a lot of it anyway, especially that's been around for a long time, is public domain. So really what they're upset about is who the recording came from, right? And it's like, if you're performing a piece that is public domain, anybody should be able to play that music. Don't get all bent out of shape because you were the one who performed it. Unless I use recordings that are freaking 70 years old. I have got empty chairs and empty tables stuck in my head right now. Which, if you're not familiar with Les Mis, is the song sung by Marius, who has survived the June Rebellion, because Jean Valjean drags him to safety through the sewers. And so he has survivor's guilt. And he's basically singing about how he's lost all of his friends. And it's very sad. And I will say that in the movie, Eddie Redmayne does just a fantastic job. I've heard a lot of people say, like, that they don't like the movie because nobody in the movie can sing. And you know what? That's ridiculous. Like Hugh Jackman, he can sing just fine. He sings fine. I've gone to some, like, local productions of theater that do not have famous singers, and they're not the greatest, but it's still fine. I think it's fine, and I really like the film, so. Just let people like things. Four. Is that 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. You know, I'm looking up at my little past projects thing up there, and it seems to always be showing the same things. I have so many pictures in that file, and I'm not convinced it's showing all of them. Ugh, come on. And it's showing them all in order, too. I wonder if I can... slide mode. Automatic. Randomized playback. There we go. Oh, that's that sweater I was talking about earlier. The one that is actually, it is a scale version of the flax pattern from Tin Can Knits that I turned into a little itty bitty ornament. Okay, so I put randomization now. It's like showing the same thing over and over. Oh, whatever. I gotta... There's a whole bunch of pictures in that folder. Why is it only showing the same things? Look at that. You'd think that I only made like 8 things. Come on. Hold on. Hold on just a minute. I'm going to go look in that folder. It's called Completed Projects. And it's got dozens and dozens of pictures in it. Why is it only showing a few things? That's irritating. Okay, anyway. What am I doing? Sure. Okay, I'm almost done with this row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6. Let's see what the pattern says to do from here. Okay, so I'm going to join with that. Remember I was talking about that chain and single crochet at the beginning, and it's right there. You can see it because it stands up. Now you probably can't see very well. If I show you on my finger here, can you see how there's like a little bump right there? If it would focus on my hands. So I know exactly where I need to go in to join because we did that chain 1 single crochet, and so then that's where my join goes. Okay, so now we're done with round 10. So this is where we are so far. Isn't it pretty? Let's go here down, burp. Look at it. It's so beautiful. All right. Next, round 11. How many rounds are there? There's 17. We're on round 11. So it wants me to slip stitch into the next stitch. Chain 1, single crochet into that same stitch. Again, that's going to make a nice raised single crochet that we're going to be able to find when we end this round, and we'll be able to slip into it very easily. Oh gosh. Oh gosh, now the instructions are getting all crazy. Front post, TRTR. What is that? Around third popcorn of first 4 popcorn group of round 8. 1, 2, 3. What does it want me to do? Hold on, I gotta look at the instructions because I'm not sure what a TRTR is. Triple triple? What is that? What is a TRTR? Hello. Let's get there. Doop-a-doop-a-doop. Triple, treble crochet. So you yarn over 4 times. So well, then what's a double triple? I've never done a triple treble. A triple treble. Treble. Well, she has a link here. So let's find out what this business is. Tall. Oh my God. Oh, thank you. TRTR. How many yarn overs? 4. Okay, so let's see here. So if I was going to do a double crochet, I would yarn over once. If I was going to do a treble or triple crochet, I would do yarn over twice. So it says a double treble, you would yarn over 3 times. In a triple treble, you go over 4 times. Okay. So then I'm supposed to do a front post. I gotta find the pattern again. Page down. Okay. Front post, triple treble around the 3rd popcorn of the first 4 popcorn group of round 8. Okay, so here's the first one, and 1, 2, this is the 3rd. So we've got our 4 yarn overs, and we're going to do a front post, which means we're going to go behind this guy and pull it out. So then we just start working these. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look at that. Look at that long, long, long doohickey. But now I'm really unhappy with how long this is, how long that is. It shouldn't look like that. So I'm gonna redo it and try to just keep it tight. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pull that through. And you basically do 2 loops at a time. Okay, I'm too tight. I have it too tight. Loosen up a bit. Pull it around. What are we doing, guys? Oh, because I'm stuck on something. What the hell? Let go. There. There we go. Now we're going to do 2 loops at a time. 1, 2. 1, 2. 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2. It still really lengthens that top loop, but I don't know if there's any getting around it. So I don't know if you can see now how long that is. It's a very, very long stitch. Okay, skip the next stitch of round 10. Which I can't even tell where I am anymore. This one. Single crochet in the next stitch. So I'm skipping a stitch, skipping that one, single crocheting into this one. I don't like that big long stitch. Okay. And then I'm going to single crochet, chain 3, single crochet in the next space. So I'm basically making a big X. One, 2, 3. Okay, so it says, working across the last front post triple treble made, front post triple treble around the second popcorn of the same 4 popcorn group on round 8. So we're going to go again. 1, 2, 3, 4 yarn overs. And I'm going to cross over and go back over here, Jesus, to the second one. I'm stuck. It's stuck on something. What am I stuck on? Go under, behind, grab this guy. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so what you end up with is this weird crossing big X. It's a big X. Skip the next stitch of round 10. So I think, actually I went in the wrong stitch. Let's do this one more time. So I'm going to go in here. Do that guy again. So you end up pulling through loops 5 times. And it makes this super long, very, very long thing. Okay, so then you got to find out where your single crochet was before. You want to skip the next stitch, single crochet into the next stitch, right? And that sort of anchors it. So now we've got this cross over. It's not exactly symmetrical, so maybe it'll work itself out as I go around. But at least I can tell now what it is that she wants me to do here. And then back post double crochet, chain 1 around each of the next 11 double crochets. And then the last one, skip a stitch. Okay. So I hate doing back post ones. Front post is easy. Going around the back post, you're basically working on the back side of the work. And what that does is to make this basically line of stitches come forward. It looks pretty cool. So, for instance, let me show you. I've been working front post stitches, double crochets, on most of this work down here to make all of these look like long continuous stitches. And what you get on the back is this series of, oops, come on, camera. There you go. Ridges. See how those ridges are all in the back there? So we're going to do the same thing, but now we're going to do a back post double crochet, and that's going to force those stitches to lean toward the front, and it'll make a little ridge on the front of the work. So all those ridges that are on the back here, you won't see any of those because it's on the back side of the work, and if I end up putting this on like a piece of felt or something to just give it more weight, you won't see those at all because they'll just be trapped underneath. So it wants me to back post double crochet around basically all of those 12 double crochets that I made on the last round. So if I was doing front post, I would go from front, behind, and come out the back, but now I'm doing back post. So I have to go back here, come from the back, and go around. And to me, and maybe this isn't true of everybody, but back post work is a bit more difficult to me than front post. So, anywho, so then we're supposed to basically chain one in between each of those. So that was our first one done. We go to the second one. And we do this to all 12. And I dropped it, so hold on. And that's going to make this chain of stitches stand forward. That's 2. It can be easy to lose where you are too. So go to the next one. This is 4. 5. 6. 'Now we're into that second group of 6, so this is 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. And 12, and then we don't chain 1 after this. Okay. So what that did was to make this nice ridge here. So that's going to stand forward. It's kind of cool looking. But now we got to do that stupid crossover thing again. So let's see. Skip the next stitch. Single crochet in the next stitch. Do that thing. Skip a stitch. Okay. Skip the next stitch it wants me to do. So here is the stitch I want to work. Single crochet. Now we're going to do our 1, 2, 3, 4 yarn overs. We're going to find the third popcorn on the row down there. There it is. Try not to get stuck on anything. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're skipping the next single crochet, going into the next one here, and then single crochet, chain 3, single crochet into that space, and then doing this 1, 2, 3, 4, and crossing back over here. This is not easy, I will tell you. It's just a lot of moving parts. 1, come on, 2, 3, 4, 4. Don't you dare drop. Ah! 5. And I don't like, I mean, this is like, I don't like it. It's making these huge, gross stitches. I'm going to do it again. So you have to pull it super tight at the top so that your stitch doesn't get stretched out too much. But then that gives you very little room to work. 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4. I mean, I still have a big stretched out stitch. There's just nothing you can do about it. Then you go into the next stitch, single crochet. My only hope is on the next round, we're going to do something that is going to hide these big, ugly, loose stitches that are the result of, see, there's one on that side and one on that side now, of doing this wrapping and wrapping and wrapping the yarn over. We'll see. So anyway, now I'm back to that point where I do all those back post double crochet chain ones. So we got to identify our first double crochet. And there it is. So we're going to yarn over, go from the back to isolate that one. Do our double crochet and chain 1. I really should be wearing my glasses right now because I can barely see anything. And these are real tiny stitches, so I wonder if anyone here has ever tried crocheting with real thin, like sewing thread. Because I've never made anything that tiny. That would be kind of fun to make like a doily out of just sewing thread. I think I might, if I did that, I'd have to do it under a magnifying glass because I just can't see anymore. My eyes are not what they used to be. I don't like this round. It's definitely the most technically difficult round so far. This is an advanced pattern. All these patterns are considered advanced. That said, it's not like they're hard to understand. It's just it gets to a point where it's just hard to do, like physically hard. Okay, that should be the last in our set of 12. We do not chain one after this. And if you wanna, you can double check, make sure you have 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Great. Perfect. So we're gonna just take a step back and smoosh it down for a second and see what it's looking like. That actually, that last crossover I did turned out a lot better than this first one. So I'm okay with that. So I think when I do this next time, because I want to do it in different colors. So if you're working with one of these really complex patterns, and you want to change colors, it is really worth just sitting there and thinking about what are the advantages and disadvantages of changing colors at different points. So I think I would definitely have the flower red, and this would be the round where I change to a contrast color. So I would have red, and then I would have the next several rounds in a contrast color, probably white. And then in this round where we're doing these big X's, I would do a contrast color, probably green because it's Christmas, because it would really make these X's stand out. I mean, you can sort of see it right now, but you would see it a lot better if it was in a different color. So I think that's what I'll do if I decide to continue and do this again. All right, so then this is where we get into the part. Okay, so we're going to skip the next stitch. So basically we have to identify what 3 stitches do we want to use for this crossover, and I like these 3 because we're going to skip that middle stitch. 1, 2, 3. I'm wrapping this super tightly because I don't want big ugly stitches. So we find our 3rd popcorn stitch from row 8. Trying to hold on to these really tightly. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how tightly you hang onto it, that you're going to get that big ugly stitch at the top. Hate it. One, 2, 3, 4. I don't like these stitches. I mean, I suppose if you wanted, if you really hated this, you could skip it and just do like single crochets. See, it's driving me crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4. Under. And I'm wrapping them so tight. There, 1, 2. Oh, jeez. So how does that look? Fine, whatever. Again, you can't see it very well because I'm not using a contrasting color, so maybe it doesn't even matter that much. I can't pull this through. There we go. I wonder if you can hear my sump pump on the video. So if you heard that thing that just went off, that was my sump pump. We've got a lot of rain this fall, so the ground is pretty saturated. And then it snowed a bunch and got cold. So now we've got a lot of mud, but there's still a lot of groundwater that's coming in to the basement. But man, when it was really rainy, that sump pump was going off like every minute. I want donuts. I wish I had donuts. I'm going to do something with this slideshow. It's not showing all of the pictures in that file, and I don't know why. It's really irritating me. Or maybe it just happens that every time I look up, I'm seeing the same pictures over and over, but I don't think so. I think it's really only showing like the same 20 or so pictures over and over, which there's dozens in that file. Yeah, see? Well, let's take a break because I'm pissed off at this pattern right now because I don't like this section, and let me noodle with that for a second. Here's what I'm going to do. There's actually stuff that's missing from this folder. Yeah, wow, look at all the stuff that I could throw in there that's not in there. I need to shrink these windows because I can't see what I'm doing here. Smearsh and smearsh. And have those side by side. No. Come back! Why won't it let me drag the window? Stupid. Okay. So I'm trying to identify things that aren't in there. Well, I suppose that... Those are already in that picture. Oh. All right. Like, this picture's not in there. I'm just going to throw these in there because I don't see them in there right now. I'm sorry if this is boring. I'm just trying to make sure that these pictures are going in there. I know those are in there. I've seen them. All right. Perfect. Okay. So this is called completed projects. And now it has lots more pictures in it. So what we want is to go in there and I'm going to remove this and then I'm going to add it again. Add directory. And we're going to go to completed projects and select that folder. And where did it go? There it is. Okay. Okay, it's showing other things now. Maybe that's all it needed was to just get like rebooted. Oh, thank God. Sorry if that was kind of boring, but sometimes you just got to fix things on the fly. So, oh, but now it's going back to that one because I put it on random. Are you going to show me just the same 3 pictures again? Why is it only showing 3 pictures? Oh no, that's weird because now it's going to a different one. Okay. All right. It appears that it's fixed. Okay. All right. Do I want to go back to this craziness? Or do I want to work on something else? Okay, one more thing. I'm gonna go because I put it on random, and so random makes it just like show the same. Yeah, look, it's going back and forth. So one last thing. I'm gonna take it off of randomize. All right. What the hell was I doing? Oh, I'm working into the back loops of these things. I can't even tell which one I'm on now. Oh, that one. That was the last one I did. I want wine. Is it wine o'clock yet? Doesn't matter. I don't even have wine. I have to go out and buy wine, and I don't want to leave the house. Maybe I should just add all of those pictures individually. Because now it looks like it's cycling through just a different subset of pictures, doesn't it? It sure does. Okay, I'm going to try one more thing. God, it's so stupid. Add files. We're just going to select all of these files. And it might take a minute to populate that. So now I'm going to tell this, because it looks like that's working, I'm going to tell this to randomize. There we go. All right, I think I got it. I think I'm happy with how this has turned out now. So what I ended up having to do, oh, that's so much better, is instead of telling OBS to import the entire file, the folder, because it was just going back to the same pictures, I put them all in individually. So I went, there we go. Well, you can see my cat wearing a hat. That's so much better. All right, so now you'll get a better idea for actually things that I've done instead of like the same 6 projects over and over. I hope. I don't know. Maybe it's just that OBS doesn't do a very good slideshow. But it does appear to be doing better now. Okay, wait. That's how many of these do I have now? It looks like this one I went around twice. Oh no, that's where, okay, I see, I understand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. One more. All right. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4 wraps. Come on, I can't catch the thread. I gotta stop working on this right now. It's driving me crazy. I don't have the patience for it right now. Sometimes you just gotta take a break. So I've gotten through 1, 2, 3 of them, right? Okay. So let's find something else to do. I would like to do something that I can turn into a adorable keychain. My dog is crying. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to let the dog outside. I'm going to use the restroom because I've been drinking a lot of coffee. And I'll be right back. And you can watch the slideshow. And I'm going to be back after I let the dog out. Let me put my shoes on. All right. Back in a moment. Are you just jealous that the cat is laying in the chair and you want to lay in the chair? Go on. Go. Get. Go outside. Go. Come on. Okay, I'm back. So, it's very gray and gross outside right now. Alright, so, what am I going to make? So I'm going to go check my Ravelry list. What are all these things? All right. Let's go to Ravelry and go to my notebook, the favorites that I have saved. I'm just not super inspired by any of these things. Like at first I was like, oh, these are all really cute. Like I thought about making, maybe I'll just make these because they look easy. They look easy but kind of dumb at the same time. Do I have the right colors for those? I don't think I have an orange. I have pink and like a burgundy and brown. So I'm sort of limited by the colors of thread that I have. I have white and off-white, yellow. I have a gold tinsel. I have red, burgundy, green, teal, pink, and brown. And is that it? Pink and brown. And a light blue as well. I actually have a couple different colors of pink. I have a lot of brown. Why do I have so much brown? What was I planning to make with all this brown? And black. Did I say black? I have black. So I have a lot of I've got a lot of colors that are great for Christmas things. And then a couple other colors too. I got a message. What's the message I got? Oh, my brother. My brother, like, only sends me messages about political things. So his message to me was, JFC, Ohio appears redder than Kentucky now. Yep, that's what you get for living in Ohio. Nothing good will ever come of that. Okay, let's see. What do I want to make? I have 5 pages of favorites. Not even kidding. I've got a little onigiri, which is a rice ball. I could make a rice ball. I could make this because I've got the right colors. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to make some sushi. You're going to download it? There it is. Sushi. I'm trying to make it bigger. So, with white. Okay, here's what we're doing. All right, I'm just going to use my same chain. I'm going to use my same hook because this is a pretty good hook for this size of thread. But it's calling for white. So I get my white thread. Like I said, I've got all the colors that I need for this because you need white and pink for like if you're doing tuna or salmon. I've got red, I've got green, and I've got yellow. So we're good to go. So we're gonna make a little sushi guy. So sushi base, chain 9. So we're gonna make a slip knot. So my idea is to make these little guys and then I can turn them into keychains. And who doesn't want a sushi keychain? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. My chain 9. This is your foundation chain. Starting from chain 2, work in the back loop. Seven, working in the back loop only. Oh, I see, the one that's farthest from me. 7 single crochets. So we start in the second one, working in the back loop only. 1, 2, 3, 4. I still want 1. 5, 6, 7. And that takes us to the last chain where we, which our first one, and it wants us to do 4 single crochets in that last one. And so what I'm going to try to do is distribute them evenly. So I'm going to try to like do 1, 2, and then sort of kind of curve around. So I'm going to pull this up. 3, 4, and that's all in the last chain. Put a marker in the first single crochet that you crocheted. What? Oh. Okay. Well, I've got tons of markers. So these are my favorite markers, and I just keep adding to them because, so I bought these. They're made by Boy, but it turns out that a lot of clothes that I buy now use these kinds of, they're basically little safety pins, but they work fantastic as stitch markers, both for knitting and crocheting. As long as you have knitting needles that are not super big, they work great. They're closable, so, and then I just keep adding to them because when I buy clothes, which isn't as frequent these days, you know, the clothes usually come with them, and they come in different colors. So I have this purple one. So it wants me to go back to that very first single crochet that I did at the top and put a marker in it. So I'm going to put this under both loops, if it'll go in, of that single crochet. Now, a lot of people who are going to be doing this are going to be working with worsted weight yarn and a much bigger hook. I'm working with thread and a tiny hook because I want these to be small. So you wouldn't have nearly as many issues if you were working with larger yarn because you'd be able to see what you're doing. Whereas I can't really see what I'm doing so well. Okay, so it wants me to turn this around and work on the other side. So I'm going to skip one chain. This chain is covered by the 4 single crochet you crocheted earlier. What? 6 single crochet, 1 increase in the last stitch. This is your 1 round, and you should have an oval with 19 stitches. Cool. All right. So we're going to do, it wants us to do 6. So let me look, let me find 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I see what you want me to do. So it wants me to skip that first one because I've already essentially done that one. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I feel like I did something wrong. Hold on. That feels wrong. It doesn't feel right. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I went in the wrong hole. 1, 2, 3, 4, 'All right. If it looks a little funky, that's okay. It wants me to have 19 stitches now. So if you want to be super sure, this is the first one I marked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I only have 18 stitches. Why do I only have 18 stitches? I'm just going to make another one. Now we have 19. Cool. All right. And I've got some sort of oval shape, right? I don't like that there's holes in the middle of it, but whatever. Okay, so now I'm going to start in the next stitch. So it says to do an increase. So you're basically, anytime there's an increase, you just put like 2 stitches in that stitch. So one increase would be to do 1 and then a second. And then I'm going to put my marker back in that first one that I just made to keep track. Come on. Get in there. Let's work with very tiny, tiny yarn and hooks. Cool. And then it says 7 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then it says to do 2 increases. So I'm guessing the next one we're going to do an increase in, and then we're going to go to the next stitch and do an increase there as well. These are very strangely written instructions. Gosh, all right. So the next stitch is here. We're going to do an increase. So we're going to put 2 single crochets, if I can get my needle in, I think. Okay. 1, 2. And then the same for the next one. 1, 2. And then it says 8 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was 5, right? 6, 7, 8. And I have 1 stitch left. And it says to do 1 increase. Perfect! So 2 stitches in this last one. 1, 2. It looks like a little pickle. Okay. Next, it wants me to do 2 increases. So on the very next stitch, I'm going to do an increase. So I'm going to put 2 single crochets, 1, 2 in that same stitch, but I'm going to mark my first stitch so I know where I started from, eh? So it's this guy. So that was my first increase. It also wants me to increase on the second stitch. So 2 single crochets into this second stitch. 1, 2, and it says 7 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. 1 increase. These seem to be randomly placed. I'm sure they're not, but 1, 2 in the same stitch. And I can hear my dog wants to come in. So I'll be right back. Hold my place. You can see my little bean I'm working on. I'll be right back. Okay, I also unlocked the front door because I know my daughter's going to be coming home any minute. Okay, what did I do? I just did an increase, right? Cool. So then it wants me to do 2 single crochets. 1, 2. Another increase. So I'm basically making little corners. 1, 2 in the same stitch. 8 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6. Damn, this thing's tiny. 7. I might 8. Maybe not want to make it so small because it's tiny. Okay, another increase. So I have 2 stitches left. Perfect. So an increase here, 2 stitches in this, and then another single crochet in the last stitch. And that brings us back to the beginning of the round. So I'm going to take this out. Next, 3 single crochets. 1, and I'm going to put my marker in that first stitch. And then 2 more, right? 1, 2, 3, 1 increase, 1, 2, 7 single crochet, 1, 2, hello, this just does not want to go. I think that was 3. Two increases. So it's basically making me have corners here. 1, 2, and then another one. 1, 2, 3 single crochets. Just like we did on the top. Some more increases. Seven single crochets. Dang it. I think that's 5. Two increases, and so there should be 3 stitches left. And there are. So what do you do if you're working through a pattern and you come and you find You don't have the right number of stitches at the end of the row. Well, if you're working on something small like this, you just tear it out. You go back to the beginning of that round and start over and then hope that it matches up next time. Otherwise, you can just go through and count, and sometimes you can figure out where you went wrong. All right. We're on round 6. Single crochet in each. These are not rounds, interestingly. These are just like steps. Because now it says single crochet in each stitch around for 3 rows. These are not very good instructions. So if I was writing that instruction, I would want numbers on my beginning of my rows. So I would say like rounds 6 through 8, 6, 7, and 8, right? If I wanted the next 3 rounds. But the next numbered bullet is 7. So by this time, the steps and the rounds are not matched up. So that's just a pet peeve for me. Anyway, it wants us to give this now some thickness. So we're just going to single crochet into each. So this is how wide this is going to be. He's going to be tiny. So clearly I need to be making these with the worsted weight yarn and a larger hook because this is going to be too small even for a keychain. But for now, we'll just keep on because now I'm committed. It's going to be really hard to stuff too because it's so small. So also, I don't have... Well, hello, Fire Starling. Welcome. I'm making a little tiny sushi. I was just going to say, because this guy is so small, really it's intended to be made with worsted weight yarn, and I'm using thread. I don't have eyes small enough for this, but that's okay, because I have I'll show you. I have a whole big thing. This is all full of safety eyes. This thing cost me like $5 on Amazon. It's got all different colors, but the smallest safety eyes I have are this big, and that's going to be like way too big. Maybe not. I mean, if I want them to have giant bug eyes. But the other thing that I have is beads. Lots and lots of glass beads. So those are downstairs. So I think if I'm going to be, and again, right now I'm just sort of doing this for fun, making it out of thread. So if I made this out of worsted weight yarn with an appropriate sized hook, I would use the safety eyes. And I also have different colors too. So there's these little black ones, but then I've gold and blue and green and clear. I actually really like the clear ones. What was I saying? So I would use the appropriate size safety eye for a larger one, and that probably will work as a better keychain. Because this guy's going to be so small, I mean, to put that on a keychain, he's going to be like smaller than the loop. So we'll make this one for fun. This will be a test run. But if I do end up making little sushi keychains, then I'll make them not out of thread. But anyway, I was saying, I could still add eyes to this because I can use embroidery thread to do the features, and also I have glass beads that I can do the eyes with. The other thing that gives me pause about making these out of crochet thread is crochet thread doesn't have much to it. It is what it is. So you see all these little holes? If you were to make this with an acrylic worsted weight yarn or wool, these would get filled in because the yarn itself is kind of floofy, and it will, you won't see these holes as much. But when you're using cotton thread, you basically get excellent stitch definition, which is really good for a doily and not so good if you're trying to make an amigurumi. But I'm going forward because this is, we started it. We started this. We're in it now. Like it or not. And if I wanted to make a larger one, I'd have to run around and go find where I have the yarn. I think my white yarn is upstairs because I started making a shawl. I don't know why. And it was black and white, and so I think that's what happened to my yarn. So it wants us to do 3 rounds of just single crochets all the way around. So that was round 1. This is round 2. Oh, it's Thursday, right? So my daughter's not going to be coming home now because she has musical practice tonight. So she is in a middle school production of James and the Giant Peach, which I did not know was a musical. She is in the chorus, in the ensemble. And also, she is part of the crew. So they have practice every Tuesday and Thursday, except for when they don't. And today is one of the days that they have it. So actually, I can stick around longer because I am responsible for picking her up. I'm going to need to eat something soon. What do I want to eat? I don't know. Round and round we go. We're making a tiny sushi. So this is actually, I don't know if you know very much about sushi. We're making a nigiri sushi, which is the kind of sushi that where you get your toppings on a little block. That is not to be confused with maki sushi, which is where you have a roll. I have a separate pattern to do rolls. But this one is for the nigiri. And then I have another pattern for onigiri, which is just a rice ball. So this was my initial plan, and I think that I might just go with this as, at least for my daughter and maybe some of her friends, I'm going to make little sushi keychains because they're fun. Okay, this will be the last round. It's not going to be very thick. Why is my dog crying? Aggie, you just came inside, sweetie. Aggie. Aggie, you just came inside. I'm not sending you back outside again. No. No. Yeah, no. This is what she does. She comes in and she wants things. What do you want? No. What do you want? You just come in and stare at me and whine. Please don't. No. What should I eat, guys? I don't know. I hate lunchtime. It's like breakfast is easy and dinner's easy, but I never know what to eat for lunch. Oh my God, can you hear my dog whining? Agate, what do you want? Agate, Mama's busy. No. You go away. Do you guys want to see her? Look at her staring at me. What? What do you want? I'm busy right now. You're just gonna stare. I'm not looking at you. Nope. I'm busy. I already let you out twice. Hi, Meat Mo. Welcome. Oh, thanks. Well, now I've got 82. So I'm going to be doing a giveaway. I have to do it offline because I have to set it up on Streamlabs. It'll be a non-synchronous giveaway, which that means that you'll click on a link and that I will be putting up shortly. And everyone's going to get a certain number of tokens, and then you throw them in the pot, and then I will select either the next time I stream or time after that out of the pot. And then it'll be a random thingamadoo. And then I will contact the person who won. And then we'll have a discussion about what you want. But I'm going to do another giveaway at 100 people. So this is great because now I'm at 82. So thank you. I appreciate it. I'm making, right now, a tiny piece of sushi. Super tiny because I'm making it with crochet thread. And I think that this pattern is meant to be made with worsted weight yarn. So, sushi. Yeah, my plan is to make a bunch of these. So right now I'm sort of just doing this for fun to see what the pattern's like. And I'm going to turn them into keychains. So I bought, these were like, I don't know, $7 maybe on Amazon. There's like 100 pieces here. I think there's 50 of these. So like the split ring keychains. And then these carabiner type. Whoops! That just came flying out of there. And I'm just going to do these for Christmas gifts. So that's what I'm making right now. I was working on this other pattern that's like a mini doily that will be made into a coaster, but it got overly complicated and was difficult and I got frustrated. So I decided I needed to change it up. So that's what I'm doing right now. Ah. It is nice. It's very nice. It's a Grace, I don't know if you're familiar with Grace Fearon. She makes these terrific doily patterns. So this doily actually that I'm using as my background is also from Grace Fearon. But, I mean, she makes patterns that are advanced. And sometimes you just can't. Sometimes you just can't. Where am I from? I am in the middle of Michigan in the United States. So, how about you? Where are you from? Yeah, they're so great though. I love her patterns. 3 single crochet, 1 decrease. I'm guessing this means all the way around. This pattern is not, this isn't a great pattern. This pattern is written by someone who understands that you know what she's talking about. So, what did I just say it was? It was 3 single crochets and 1 decrease all the way around. Okay. So what that means, so we're going to do our first single crochet in the next stitch, and then again I'm going to remove my marker. I have fiber up my nose. And my dog just won't stop crying. You're driving me crazy, dog. Hi, Mandy. I'm making tiny, tiny sushi. I don't have a Michigan accent. Oh. I took a, like, what accent do you have survey once, and it said that it put me solidly in around the Great Lakes. So I have that, I can't remember what it's called, that accent, but all right, what was I doing? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then a decrease, right? All the way around. Was that 3 stitches? 1, 2, 3. Though you would expect it to be the opposite of what I made it. I don't know. This is a weird pattern. We'll just follow it and see what happens. That's why I'm doing it on a mini scale to see if it's worth doing. So the way that you do a decrease with single crochets is you just, do 1, pull up 1 loop, go into the second one, pull up 1 loop. So now you have 3 loops and pull through all 3. And that was 1 decrease. 1, 2, 3. And now another decrease. Pull up a loop in 1, pull up a loop in the next one, all 3 together. Can you see the pattern? Oh, cool. Well, so you can do an invisible decrease by looping in the 2 front loops. Oh yeah, that makes sense too. Well, I'm going to do it this way just for now. I mean, it's because this is just, like I said, this isn't going to anybody. This is just like a practice. The pattern is, let me get the link. Okay. There you go. And I'm pretty sure it's a free pattern. Oh my God, dog. What? You're just standing in the doorway staring at me. What? What do you want? She does this. It's like I don't know what she wants and I can't read her little doggy mind. Oh my God, shut up. But if I give her treats, then that's encouraging the behavior, and I don't want her to do that, right? Okay, I'll try the what you said. You said loop in the 2 front loops without yarn over and then yarn over. Okay. So go into this one and then the next one. Except I can't because it's so small. I can't even see the front loops. Oh, I see what you're saying. Here and here. Like that? Oh, come on. Go in. Yeah, I don't think that worked very well. I might not be understanding what you're saying to do. So I'm just... Yarn over and pull through both. But only the front loops, that's what we're doing here? I think it might not be looking right because of... There's the 2 front loops, right? Yarn over, pull through both. Oh, sure. Okay, cool. 1, 2, 3. We'll do it again. Front loop, yarn over, pull through. So how does that look? Oh yeah, look, you can't even see it. Thank you. That is good strategy. You're right, because if you look at the other one, and you can't see because... Can you see that? It's not going to focus on me. Or it'll focus on me for a second, and then it's like, but you don't really want me to... Come on, camera. Come on. Come on. Oh, no, so it wants to focus on the background. Anyway. Yeah, it works. I appreciate that. And then again, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So you usually do amigurumi? I do all kinds of things. I don't specialize in any one thing, I would say. Oops, sorry. 1, and then we're doing the other front loop, and then we're going to pull through all 3. I like that. One, 2. Oh, good. I love learning new stitches. 3. I'm ignoring you, dog. And then the last one is my decrease. Yay. Look, it looks like a little pill. You know what's a little pill? You're a little pill. Yeah. A split half double crochet. Interesting. So what happens in a split half double crochet? Okay, so the next round, or the next, it's not really the round, the next step in the instructions is, now we're going to do 2 and then a decrease. And then it wants me to do safety eyes, but this is too small for safety eyes. So I will, if I give it a face, I'll do the face at the end with some glass beads. Instead of a half double crochet in the next loop, you put it through the legs of the row below. Interesting. What does that accomplish? Like, why, what is it about the pattern that you would want to do that kind of stitch? Agate, please. She wants love. Why do you want love? Are you bored? I know you don't have to go to the bathroom. And it's not near dinner time yet, so. What do you want? I'm going to touch you. She's driving me mad. She wants cookies. Actually, what I think she wants is to sit in the chair that's behind me, but there's a cat in the chair behind me, and I don't want to move him because he's sleeping. You can't sit in the chair. He's already in the chair. So what did I say? 2 single crochets and then a decrease. Right? Stop. I need like noise canceling headphones so I can't hear her crying. Oh, it closes the space between the rounds. Okay, cool. So it would be very, it would make it very dense. Okay, that was 2 stitches. I keep wanting to yarn over. There we go. And then 2 stitches. And decrease. Yep, I can barely see what I'm doing. This is so small. 1, 2. So you said that you use cotton to do your amigurumi, right? This is a 1.65 millimeter, so it's really small. Dog, I'm about to kick you out. Oh, see, I did yarn over. See that? Did you see what I did? Go through. Come on, you can do it. All right. Yeah, I'm only using this size because it was the one I was already working with when I was doing the doily. This is just me practicing this. I did it again. My brain really wants to do a yarn over in between these two. I have to very consciously not use my brain right now. Okay. What was I even saying? Oh, that I'm sort of just messing around right now to see how this turns out, and then we'll decide if it's the pattern I want to use. This did seem to be the cutest sushi pattern, because there are many online, and I just like this one the best. And my count is off. Shoot. Hold on. Okay, I'll be right back. I gotta do something about this dog. Go lay down with your brother or something. Go, get up. You are banned. Go lay on the couch. Look. Go. Go inside. No. Go away. Okay, I put her outside again, even though I'm pretty sure that's not what she wanted. But her brother went outside too, so. Oh. So this one called for a size 1.5. My 1.5 is in use somewhere else, which is why I was using the 1.65. I'm just using the same size for this for now. But I'm off by 1 stitch. Dang it. So I think it's because I was getting distracted by the dog. So let's go around again. So we had 1, 2. I kind of feel like I'm making a cocoon and not a ball of rice. That's what it feels like. All right, I did 2 stitches, right? 1, 2 stitches, and now a decrease. And then 2 stitches. Actually, I think what I did I think where I got off was I got confused about where the next stitch started. And then a decrease. One, two. Can't see what I'm doing. So this is not my normal studio. Actually, I don't really have a normal studio now because we just moved to this house about, I don't know, several months ago. And I don't have a proper place for my studio. Where my studio is going to be is in the detached garage that is next to the house. But currently that is not renovated to be my studio. It's not usable. So I made a temporary studio downstairs in the basement, and it's really cold down there. So then I started bringing things up into this room, which is actually my husband's home office. So I have like this little corner area that's mine, but I have a lot of my stashes down there right now. Normally I would be using my, I have an OttLite that has a nice big magnifying glass in it, and then it has a light around the glass, so you look through it and you get all the light that you need. And when I work on really small projects like this, I could just look through the magnifying glass. But because it's downstairs in what was sort of my mobile studio, I don't have it here. Anyway, so normally I wouldn't. Point being, if I end up going with this pattern to make more of these, I will use a larger yarn and a larger hook. So really I'm just putting myself through hell right now for fun. But yes, I truly am having a hard time seeing what I'm doing right now. The light in here is not great either. The OttLite would fix that. But again, she downstairs, she not upstairs. Yeah. How long do you think the dogs are going to stay outside before they're like, we want back inside now? Oops, I did it. I did a yarn over. See, I wasn't paying attention. We don't have a lot of snow. We got... I did it again! I don't know how I got off by one stitch. Darn it! Fine, we're just going to be off by one stitch then. It doesn't really matter in the end. Because this is just practice. Oh, come on. Snow. So we got several inches the other night, and it's just been so cold that it's stuck around. Okay, what's the next step? So if I was going to put safety eyes in, I would do it now, but I'm not. So now I'm just one stitch, one decrease all the way around, and then the next round is decrease all the way, and then close it up. So now I'm just putting the marker in so like I can sort of approximate when the beginning of the round is. Yeah. I made a mistake somewhere. It's fine. Look at this little thing. We're going to tuck this inside because it's getting smaller. It looks like a little slipper, doesn't it? So the place in Michigan where I live now, we don't get much snow. We moved from Houghton, which is in the Upper Peninsula, where they get all the snow. It's one of the snowiest cities in the United States. So we moved from one of the snowiest cities in the United States to not very snowy. In fact, it's supposed to be in the 40s next week. Oh, husband is home! But, so, gosh, I keep doing this. I really like this new invisible decrease that you've taught me, but my brain does not want to do it. It wants to keep on doing a yarn over. Yes, he can take care of the dogs. This is so tiny. My finger's too big to fit in the hole now. So, yeah, it's probably a good time to stuff. Did you hear the dog bark? I don't even have my stuffers up here. How much stuffing do you think I can really fit into this thing? We'll stuff it lightly, just so that it keeps its shape. How about that? See, because I don't have all my stuff up here, I don't have my little sticks that I use for... Oh, I do have one. It's in this guy. I just use chopsticks. So, a wooden chopstick. That is what I use for the stuffings. Now you get to hear my dogs barking. Because Daddy's home. It sounds like... Oh yeah, it was recycling day, so he went to go get the bin, which was out by the street. And they see him, and they're excited. Daddy, Daddy. I would use the back of the crochet hook, except that this is steel, so it's just going to go through it. Well, maybe not. Yeah, see, it's not as... This, like, sticks to it. I think that's lightly stuffed enough, probably, huh? I have a little bit more in case we need it. I forgot what direction I was going in. Oh, heavens. Also, I skipped lunch, so I'm pretty hungry. Let's see if we can at least get this closed off, and then I'll probably go and hang out with the husband and maybe get a snack before we have to go pick up the child. Hello, husband! Oh, no, these are just, what brand are these? These are Boy. It's just metal the whole way. So it would be very helpful if I had a kind of a rubbery handle. But this does not have that. Are we going to cook, or are we going to go pick up Moira and get something? Zach? Husband? He's getting so small. Oh, my stomach's growling. Did you say you were living in Finland right now? That's awesome. So, I learned recently as in the last couple of years, I did that ancestry thing. So I always knew that my ancestors came from Britain, but what I didn't know was that before they went to Britain, they actually came from Sweden. So my ancestors started in Sweden and then ended up in Britain, and then from there they became some of the first settlers of the United States. So I actually have, something like, do you remember what it was? 20% of my DNA comes from Sweden? Something like a fifth of my DNA is actually from that area. Yes. So I like to say that I'm a Viking. All right. So we're at the point now. I'm not going to use the marker anymore because it's not going to be that helpful. Husband, are we going to pick up Moira and get food, or are we going to cook something? What do you want to cook? 'Cause I haven't had lunch. I'm very hungry.
We got hamburger. We got like hamburgers, salmon, and chili.
We could do chili, and then it could sit and be ready for us when we come back to.
Could also put together the hamburgers and put them in the.
Oh, the sous vide. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm almost done here.
The same thing with the salmon.
Oh, you made it for you got it for the sous vide.
Well, you can be done with that.
This doesn't look like a little sushi guy. Oh, I guess it does if you mush him a bit. She's 1%. So your mom did it, and she's 1% Finnish, 2% Swedish, and Norwegian. What is the majority of her background?
Who just sent a message?
Oh, I thought that was you. No, I didn't get a message.
No.
It wasn't me.
Who's Moira?
English, German, and Swiss. Yes, so my background is mostly Swedish, and then British, and there's a little bit of Ireland and Scotland in there. And then on my dad's side, I'm almost all Polish. A little bit of German. Get in there. Get in there. Probably do a little bit more stuffing. But again, this is just like a practice, so I don't really care. This is not getting sent to anybody. So it looks like a little pill. It's cute. So now I'm just doing decreases all the way around to close up the hole. I'm having a hard time seeing where the stitches are. Again, if I had my OttLite, I wouldn't have any problems right now. "100% European Jew, huh?" Yeah, I don't know what that means either. A lot of the times the, who's getting messages? It's not me. It's not me.
It's not me.
It's not your phone?
No.
So there's something here that's dinging.
Where I leave your phone here?
I don't think so. Someone's getting messages, and it's not either of us. Anyway, I was going to say, like, I I thought the Ancestry.com did a good job of providing us background information. Oh, come on, Stitches. It's the FBI. What was your background? Do you remember, Zach?
No.
I don't remember what it came out to either. So a lot of his stuff came out as Gesundheit, U.S. Appalachia. So we don't know where his family comes from. They come from the mountains. They're mountain people. I can't get this through the loop. I see the loop. Okay, dang it. We're just going to go to the next loop because it's getting so tight now. I can't see what I'm doing. I almost just want to take a needle and just close this up. There we go. And can we do one more? I don't think so. Okay. I don't even have a needle nearby. So I'm just going to pull that through for now, and I'll finish that. I could pull it tight later. So my first thought about this pattern is it doesn't work if you're trying to do something very, very tiny. But that's what kind of it looks like in the bottom. There's a little bit of a hole left, which I can close off or not because I'm not really planning on using this for anything. But I do rather like how the top looks. So it's just like a little, I mean, it's a little rice ball, right? So the next part of the pattern is to do the toppings, and I think that this pattern comes with dogs are barking. You can either do the tamago, which is the egg, the little omelet, or some kind of fish. So I have all the colors downstairs. So I think what I'll do, again, like look how small this is compared to the actual chain. This would be way too small for a keychain. It is actually small enough to go through the chain. So this is not good for keychain. So this is either a very small ball of rice or a very large grain of rice. So, so I think what I'll do is starting tomorrow, because it's getting kind of late now, and how long have I been up? I've been doing this for 3.5 hours. Yeah, it's really, really small. It's an egg, or it's even it almost looks like a silk cocoon, doesn't it? You can make little, silk moth cocoons and put faces on them. So, but actually this was a nice reprieve from working on this guy because, so I'll show you what I was doing on this. It asks you to do what did she call it? A triple treble crochet. So a super, super long stitch. Can you even see it? And you do 2 of them. You cross them over. And it was just getting frustrating, so I had to stop. There we go. Yeah, she says, oh God. It's totally doable. It's just that it's hard to concentrate on doing that and talk to people, so I needed to take a break. So I took a break and made this thing. So, so yeah, I think what I'll do So here's where we're going now. I'm going to use a larger hook and yarn to make these guys so that I can make them into keychains for my daughter and her friends. And then the next thing I need to do is I will be going on to Streamlabs, or I don't remember if it was Streamlabs that I did this on before, where I did the giveaway. So be on the lookout for, I'll be posting that information to the channel, and then there will just be a link there. You'll go on there, you'll enter, you'll get like a certain number of tokens, and then you can use that to enter the drawing. And then I'll keep that up for a little while, and then after it looks like enough, you know, not many people are doing the, or entering the sweepstakes anymore, then I will go through and pull out a winner for the giveaway. I'll contact that person, we'll talk about what they want, and then I'll set up the next giveaway, which will be 100 followers. So it looks like we need 18 more people for that. And yeah, so it's been 3.5 hours. I'm hungry, so I'm gonna get a little snack, and then we're gonna go pick up my daughter at around 5. I have fiber in my nose and my eyes. So anyway, thanks for the new followers. Thanks for joining me, and I hope you had a good time. And it was nice learning a new stitch, so thank you for that. And I'll see you guys soon. So thanks. Bye-bye.